Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Beach Bum. And this is brought to you by Korine, who honestly makes some very interesting films that deserve a lot of conversations, and so does this one. And that's a tricky thing about his films. They're not really super accessible to like your mainstream audience, and I think they're hard to digest for somebody going in who doesn't regularly go to the cinema, watch art house films, and are really into the craft, and are just like, this was weird and a little too much, and what the hell's going on? I actually enjoyed this film a lot, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. Is it the best film? Is it the most well structured film? Absolutely not. There's like barely any structure to this film, and honestly, let's start there. Honestly, the writing is what really harms this film, honestly, for me. And it's honestly because I struggle throughout this film to find purpose in the story and a real focus and arc for Moondog, our main character. And it's kind of just like, here's an event, here's some crazy nonsense, here's some crazy nonsense, let's go on to the next adventure. The most interesting thing that I can gather from the writing of this film and the story is that how much of this is really happening? And if you look at it through that lens, how much is this like drug-infused fantasy? That's what really makes this film a little more interesting and on some deeper level. And I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be done on purpose. And it's like, do you really get to this, like these revelations and these particular growth moments? Or are these all fantasy and just drug-laden nonsense? You never know. And this film begs you to question that and think about that, and I appreciate that about this film. But in terms of all these little different adventures, not all of them work for me. There's one particular one with Martin Lawrence. I thought he was funny as Captain Whack, but God, here we go. This part of the movie is a little too whack. And it's just like, what's going on here? And CGI giant fish and like, it was just way too out there and really didn't fit the tone of the rest of the film. But overall, the rest of the characters and like crazy performances from Zac Efron and Snoop Dogg, they're great. They're hilarious. Jimmy Buffett's in this. Jonah Hill's foghorn leghorn accent in this film really, really bothers me. I do think his character brings an interesting layer to the film, but God, I couldn't stand his accent. And it's just like, I swear. And it's just like, oh my God, stop it. And it was really annoying, but he's not in the film a whole lot, so honestly it didn't take that much out of it. But Isla Fisher is in this film, and she's great. She has so much charisma and brings so much energy to this film, and she has great chemistry, and this movie lives and dies by how much you enjoy Matthew McConaughey in this film, and I thought he was absolutely amazing. He was hilarious. He was just this manic energy, and Moondog's such an interesting character, and that's what really carries this film and really gave me a lot of enjoyment, is because he's a genius. He is a true poet. It isn't like he's some bullshit con artist that doesn't have talent. That's the tricky and hard thing about this story, is he has this talent, and is he going to waste it? Because he's always on drugs. This movie has so much nudity and drug use in it. Oh my God. Calling this an R-rated movie is an understatement, because there's so much debauchery in this film. And this is only an hour and a half. If this was like the length of Wolf of Wall Street, I don't know which one would have more debauchery in it. But Matthew McConaughey, like, this is crazy to say, but I think his performance is like award level, just crazy manic amazement, honestly. And the thing is, he's not just an over-the-top cartoon, and he could have really easily been that, but there's moments where he really does show layers and other emotions that I think make him an actual person. And there's one really, really tough dramatic moment that actually did really hit me hard, because I did really connect with the characters, the Moondog in this film, and just a little bit of physical acting in Matthew McConaughey's face that really made that work. And I was really impressed, and I'm like, you know what? He really made that work, and I can see, because that was my worry, that he's just over-the-top nonsense, just a cartoon character. But there are moments, and there's moments he gets frustrated, and real emotion, I'm like, okay, I can see that. But if you just want to like enjoy just the craziness of this for an hour and a half, and you can get past all like this is don't take a kid, honestly, probably don't take a middle schooler or a teenager to this movie either, unless you're really okay with them seeing some really inappropriate stuff, because there's plenty. But this film, I think, if you could get past that kind of barrier, which I understand is a big barrier for a lot of film audiences, is that extreme amount of like unacceptable behavior. But if you could get past that, there's so many laughs and great characters and moments in this film that I think you can get a lot out of it. But if you're going in looking for an interesting, intriguing, deep, well-written story, this is kind of just strung together, honestly. But from an enjoyment perspective, I absolutely loved it. But let me know what you think. Maybe you hated this, because apparently the audience rating on this is like a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. But tell me your thoughts, and let's talk some movies. And thank you, as always, for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.